Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you about all of the different content, whether it was announced or leaked, that was planned to come to the Avengers game and has now been cancelled. Any sources used will be shown in the bottom left corner of the screen. If you do enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Currently only 12% of viewers are subscribed, so it'd really help me out if you did subscribe. There should be chapters on this video, but if not, you can check the description for timestamps. Anyways, first off, we're going to go with the announced stuff. Patrol mode would have had the biggest map in the game and would have started as only available in the Wasteland. However, it would have been added to other locations at a later date. None of the locations other than that are known, however. You would have been able to go up to survivors of the Wasteland and then do quests for them while patrolling. And it was originally delayed due to problems with creating a join in progress feature, but was still in development up until the cancellation of the game. Patrol mode also would have included random boss fights as well, such as with Taskmaster and Abomination. I'm not sure what all modes would have included join in progress, but it most likely would have included patrol mode, like I mentioned before, and also should have been included in raids as well. And it would have allowed players to join during those missions. Now, this would have been great for both of these things, as longer missions like this do have a tendency to crash in this game for some reason. She-Hulk was hinted at multiple times, both by the developers and in-game, and was also confirmed by a streamer with information on the game, and also was confirmed by the voice actor that was playing She-Hulk. Now, this hero was almost completely finished, but after most of the dev team left the game and they hired new people, they decided to wait on She-Hulk and complete her later, and work on some easier heroes to prepare the new team before planning on returning to her later. Now, unlike what people suspected, She-Hulk was not actually intended to ever be a Echo hero, or even a partial Echo like Bucky would have been. Her abilities were as follows. Now, her ranged attack would have been throwing a harpoon. She also had a fastball ability where she would have been able to pick up other heroes and throw them. She had a grab attack as well, and overall her abilities were very wrestling inspired. Now, I do have a full list of her other abilities, but it's unclear what they would have done. I'm going to go ahead and list them. Anyways, Anger Issues, Sidious Incremento, Glass Jaw, Golden Octagon, Iron Gavel, Last Word, Power Grab, Scales of Justice, Slide Kick, Strikeout, Superflex, Ball Pin Hammer, Fastball, Grinning Bear, Guillotine, Stone Shoes, Viridi Ferociatos, I'm probably mispronouncing this, I'm just going to put this on the screen, Wrestler's Vault, Hammer of Justice, Sledgehammer, Green Queen, Jade Matriarch, Malachite Visage, Olive Branch, Spearmint Decree, Verdant Dynasty support, Dire Verdict support, Moral Injunction support, Statute of Limitations support. All of those, as very clearly would have been a support moves. Ranged Harpoon, Ranged Air Harpoon, Ranged Harpoon Heavy Slam, Ranged Harpoon Flip Slam, Ranged Harpoon Kaboom. She-Hulk also, in a more recent update, gained the ability of rock throwing, which may have been intended to replace the harpoon stuff, which would have made her a partial Echo-ish thing, but even less than Bucky was. Captain Marvel was both part of the beta leak and hinted at through both the stories of the game and by devs multiple times. Captain Marvel was clearly intended to release and most likely would have released right before or with the KREE expansion. Sadly, the only ability I know of is her intrinsic, and that it would have been like Thor's, but instead of charging it electrically, it would have been with cosmic energy. KREE expansion is hinted at a lot in the story and also by the devs, and it would have included a new faction, at least one new boss, and a raid. Now, for the boss, it may have just been the giant KREE sentry, like at the end of the main story, or it could have been someone entirely new, like the Ronan the Accuser, but we don't actually know. the KREE faction itself would have been entirely made up of KREE and would have included 0 robotic enemies as far as we know. So that obviously would have been a big thing considering everyone's complaints about fighting too many robots. Ultron was also hinted at in the end of the Cosmic Cube storyline, and multiple files in the game were found as well relating to Ultron, which were still getting updated up to the Winter Soldier update. He would have had at least 1 Omega level threat mission, though that's all I know for sure about Ultron. He would have included a new enemy faction of Ultron duplicates, which would have been most likely reskinned aimbots. Ultron fight would have included his finger rays from the films, bubble shields, melee attacks, as well as some sort of Ultron beacon, and Ultron duplicates would have appeared as well. War Machine has been hinted at by the devs a lot and was also a part of the beta leak. War Machine would have been a unique hero, not an echo, like some may have thought, at least according to before the game launched. Before launch, War Machine was planned to be added at launch, but instead some of his abilities were given to Iron Man and he was then pushed to be released later and then never was finished. He never got an actual voice actor, though some designs were made, including some concept art, which I'm not going to show because I don't want it to get the video taken down. Now, these are all of the abilities I know of. Ablative armor, angry siblings, which most likely was some sort of twin rockets, block, self-explanatory, blockade, most likely a improved block, bunker buster, self-explanatory, chaff. Now, this is just a word for some coating on seeds, essentially, and that makes me think that this would have been some sort of like rapid fire weapon, like small projectiles that are a lot. Cluster bomb, self-explanatory, energy shield, not sure what that would be for. Maybe that was what was reused for Iron Man, as he does have a shield. Cluster rounds, some sort of shotgun-like attack. Deathlock, most likely a lock-on upgrade. Explosive rounds, self-explanatory. Fanfare, most likely some sort of explosive ability again. Field distortion. Gauntlet cannons, self-explanatory. Hail Mary, maybe another explosion. Or, never mind, Hail Mary is a punch. Never mind, I'm stupid. Hammer Fist. Hot Button, another explosive probably. Hover. Iron Shoulder, probably a shoulder attack. Missile Barrage, self-explanatory. Power Flux, maybe an upgrade of some sort. Proton Hammer. Sledgehammer, both melee attacks, presumably. And some sort of heat mechanic also would have been included with War Machine. Now, I'm assuming that his weapons would overheat and you'd have to manage that while you're fighting. All we know about Loki is the hints during Thor's mission chain, which were clearly meant to follow up on later, but other than that, we have no clue what this would have been, or if other enemies like Frost Giants were going to be included with him. Now, there was a leak that said he would be coming not as a villain, but as a playable hero, but that doesn't seem to be real for multiple reasons. Now, no files were ever added to the game for Loki outside of the fake Thor, so who knows when he would have been added if the game had continued. Scarlet, which was a part of the beta leaks for the game. Now, we don't know anything about her abilities, as she was only ever planned and never went into actual development as far as we know. Now, there are a few hints at her in the game in the War for Wakanda update, but other than that, there's nothing. Doctor Strange was also part of the beta leaks. Now, we don't know anything about his abilities, as he was only ever planned and never went into active development. As far as we know, however, multiple artifacts related to him are in the game, and multiple unreleased artifacts are also in the game related to him. Now, there are a few hints at him in the game in the War for Wakanda update. I'm sure everyone knows about that. Now, that's the end of our confirmed section, essentially. Next is just leaked stuff. Red Hulk was a part of the beta leak as well, but as an enemy boss. Now, he stopped getting updated shortly after the launch of the game and was either completely given up on or pushed back to be finished in the future. His abilities would have included a double body lunge, rock attacks, thrown rock attacks, fire shield, overhead smash, thunderclap, scream attack, and ultimate attack devastation. Now, he clearly used part of Hulk, as well as he may have been replaced by Maestro, as a lot of the abilities Maestro has are very similar. For example, the scream attack is used with Maestro. So who knows what happened there. Now, Falcon was a part of the beta leak as far as I know. He never actually was in development though, and only planned for the future. Now, Vision was once again part of the beta leak, and would have reused a lot of enemy attacks, including the Adaptoid Beam attack, and reuse other enemy animations. Vision most likely would have launched with Ultron as well. QUAKE was a part of the beta leak, but apparently was cancelled before the game even released, according to Miller. As for her abilities, this is 100% speculation, but I'd assume, similarly to Vision, reusing some enemy assets, QUAKE would have probably used assets from the purple Adaptoids. Ant-Man and Wasp were both part of the beta leak, but we never found anything out about their abilities, as they were only ever planned and never went into a development. We do know Scott would have been Ant-Man in the game, however, we don't know who Wasp would have been. Wasp most likely would have been Janet, but who knows, we never actually hear anything about her in the game, so her whereabouts are unknown. We do know that they weren't planned to be echoes of each other at the time of them being planned before the game launched, but they may have become echoes if they were ever added. Mockingbird was a part of the beta leaks as well, but never went into actual production as far as we know. Marvel was also in the beta leak, but as far as we know, he was never put into production. He wasn't planned originally to be an Echo hero, though if he did make it into the game, he most likely would have been made into one. Shuri was a more recent addition, and was put into production as an Echo to help the team be able to make more content faster, and would have been a Echo for Black Panther. Ironheart, another recent addition, would have been included as a Echo for Iron Man. It seems like the choice for Iron Man was made as they still wanted to leave War Machine open to be a full hero instead of changing him into an Echo. A non-new addition in one of the more recent updates was Spider-Woman. Now, this Spider-Woman specifically is Jessica Drew, not one of the other Spider characters like Spider-Girl or Spider-Gwen or whatever. This certainly would have been a fun character in my opinion, and a member of the new Avengers in the comics. Now, I would like to mention some other members of the team before we continue, as at the time, the team included Luke Cage, Wolverine, Iron Fist, Daredevil. Sentry was a member a couple years previously. Power Woman, Mockingbird, and Doctor Strange were also members, while her being added to the game certainly doesn't confirm that any of these were planned. It is possible that they did think about that and may have been setting that up, which included a lot of fan favorites and highly requested characters with Luke Cage and Daredevil, as well as Doctor Strange. Now, we would have also received 2 new maps as far as we know. Both Moonbase and New England map were found in the files. Now, the Moonbase most likely would have been a part of the KREE expansion. Miller also had previously mentioned that space missions were being worked on at some point. So, we don't know where the New England map would have ended up with, but it maybe would have been also a part of the KREE expansion. Now, Phil Coulson was meant to be an NPC for the game, maybe some sort of mission giver, but was cut before launch, though they may have planned to add him back to the game later. So, a concept art found in a data mine at one point. Now, I can't show the image for obvious reasons, but I can tell you what was on it. First off, it does include hero icons for all of the original heroes, but they are clearly early icons and not the ones in the game. For example, Thor's is his helmet, for example, not his hammer. It also included Black Panther and War Machine icons as well. Now, the main thing though is the fact that the Inhuman Alliance isn't there and instead is replaced by Inhumans with Black Bolt's logo, and it also isn't in the faction section of the image, but in the hero section, making it possible that Black Bolt and other members of the royal family could have been planned as either NPCs or actual heroes for the base game or DLC. Now, it is possible, and this is just a conspiracy theory by me, that they tried to veer away from the Inhumans as much as possible after Disney got the film rights back for the X-Men and may have given up on all of the royal family stuff. Now, Captain Carter is specifically from the roadmap leak I talked about in a video a couple weeks ago. Now, while this leak does seem fake, the models of both Vision and Captain Marvel make it seem real, meaning we could have potentially gotten her in the game as an Echo. Now, this next section is all about stuff that was 100% not coming, and people have multiple times thought it would be. Now, people may think DEATHLOK was coming to the game due to a beta leak, but this was a misunderstanding as it was actually an ability for War Machine. Spider-Man was never planned to come to the other platforms and was always intended to be a Sony exclusive, and was never and will never be added to Xbox, PC, or other platforms. Now, multiple different leaks confirmed that they didn't have plans for and did not want to have more than 4 heroes per mission in the game. Finally, now this is all just a assumption. Now, we would have most likely gotten more new gear for the game, more skins. A specific set of skins I would have expected to see in the game is cel-shaded skins. We did get one cel-shaded skin in the game for Captain America, and I would have expected at least one for each of the other Avengers. After the KREE invasion storyline was over, I wouldn't expect AIM to still be the main villain anymore, most likely being replaced by Hydra or maybe even Ultron. Now, it also is possible that it could have been Skrulls as well, and it's also possible that the KREE themselves would have been the main enemy for the game and would have been a longer storyline instead of a simple short invasion. Now, that is going to be it for the video. This video took a lot of time. I spent 20 hours alone just doing research for this video. Making a script took another 4 or 5 hours. And editing this is also, I'm sure, going to take hours as well. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about anything in the video, or you know anything that would have been included in the game as well, leave a comment and let me know. I also would like to thank all of the people that I sourced in the video, and I'll have links to all of them in the description below. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.